Okay. Salam alaikum bari wal ngali konton ngali bismillah kabondi kibaro network. Bi fanang mutanan. Kachami alon kon kawle ke nembanko dimolu kachami alon kon kawle ke dimol mili alon kolle kabulan noma kabondi dunia fana mo be lambali be kilin tentula kali jayi kali nimbara ko nga fale nyane nabi mbe taraja ne ning chairman Yankuba Dabo watu kununta buldo mandi because fintini tale so basically mbe wo hakada no tela mula mili alon kolle kalamoy banko mo be kono kabondi muli ala kolle be sidi banko kono ani banko fanam bantala yo bari janim be kuno naka cha kono chairman ngi bismillah kuteke kabondi kibaro network.
Baraka bake etentu lambe jagila mbele lamoy la ni jiber lal be dunia dawra be kontonna
Bismillah kuteke kabondi kibaro network.
mo be konton kontan tele kanana program mo ko and yes amunda ametale manna baralam dinga opportunity, so that is good.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Basically, Ngajere, back do komi alon pale wole taje last year in sign tema. Ala do pol kono alemu do ko basically nga kalamta fana ngela campaign promises that you made ni nata be mundo ko sifal ekla so far what you have achieved and then allo that unity towards the people of Bilkama Yede Council.
Baraka bage sa ko inen have bile bunna 3 years he can vote in because 28th of May 2023 the moliele kartu fenye now karte gati pamin ken West Coast aketa bilungo la 28th so bilungo atombeta ndaba bi programme financial to wala so me opportunity la kodanche ka West Coast kolbe duke be jayi what babul kamen for trust and confidence jikoni lanno men soton na karola pour ka carte o den kate birkama ire council yalon tolu kabrem wala amira the biggest slogan mole min long wala mun ko le council na da be sukila dim make so ngana mo nyim ajafa amira na sioni mbite masanji sabadro kata ku jama ke wodin ka sukol dinkol jama sugita yatin na na sanji mo janem wala many na mulka in terms of world development so tundo benoto so na ye thank you so to ne fa nga 500,000 woketa kule mi alonko ay namulu ay kangu jam vande baken na nawo lahido do ngamen tan na molye and then I yirwaning
Chairman la bidje be lorin kanede. Chairman, are you with us? Yeah. Ajoku chairman la video in lotally. So basically. I'm not getting you, Chairman. I think yeah, but not today we can man of a video and something like that. Yeah, man today we can do. Yeah, monthly boy can the kiaman.
I come well as I'm for become boy still.
Yeah, sign them demo. I think ila video ni ngaka kalele. I suggest I have to call you then another bit of time, which will be more favorable.
Ajibe bam video nyimbe kale kan still.
No, it's okay. You are good to go now.
It's okay now, yeah?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. So menu min fokan
Mm-hmm.
comme nga fa ñame sanji follow ñing nga wili kemer lulu mënon de tundol kan o kola nga sila do ko ken brikama wala mun na cancel ñaati no marché wala silo ñin de ngaw do ko keje
Mm-hmm.
and then nata skola support karam to dinne wala
Mm-hmm.
manen de mar jabalu ngawol fanam bonon bar min kum mara wala ñinde ko dinkol kabering nga dinkol sukita
Mm-hmm.
cancel ka namo min soto
Mm-hmm.
wara nyanda namo min soto la wadati ta kanana
Mm-hmm.
second year instead of the 500,000 we increased that to $1 million is third year finance to 1 million. That means in essence 2.5 million na tun yola soto kan in yola soto from the country in a matter of 3 years wo mu kule mi alon ko alhamdulillah. So bari safo ñun nem lahidol de nga menu tan non lahidol la kuma ba mu ñim fenkol wala mu ñing dinka sukote at the brikama area council so no bada je nata motobal sang ko mi yalo ñami motobal min yalo ko sang mbali tol be ko kan so bulol sang ka dunol ko kabir nata bata kul nga minu tara council nga wul jama bale tala sang bari follow hanika ñil sulo ñim masimba ga luwasle nin la nin tambana fata nin la fa kam masimo ta ka je dida ngaw fana luwasle motobal minu fa ka ci karo ke kam balitul samba o fana be ka luwasle say wul be ka luwas council ya patun ta sodo imandanka nyama ko damma ke bari ka demano min ke community na region ta tambita you know some sila da la tundol la sila da la bere biyo ka okay so bulo kata waram bulldozer ta schoololu ning university lu mene bije sako arabic university lu jama balla schoololu ni nyankata kata ke clear so many ka dogo min ke tundo ga isalo at the moment dogo min be council kan woman number and aman disturb so ikaje wende ma bakele ko nyim bagasol la soto ning ni akorosi nundo o bagasol council man wo sifal soto no so wo mu kulati mi yalon ko ngala do bak karam do dinol fana momin doro yala mi university de maro soto fana siata fatambe you know atambeta willy killing keme fulatile min ya soto kabirin force this year ni ajibe 567 na ba soto last year ni ajibe almost about 500 Neola the year before last and the 300 you get almost about 1,200 or 1,100 so people nealonko no karamul jo sangol kon what is very important warning medical assistant min kadi molla ni dara jibe wo million min kadi tun jama sain wole marché wollo dole football filollo bohololu time pour yadum west coast sate to mi yalon ko boholo tiji waran bo jiko bije and then council ma futan ni la han sate ringon it's not many amansia kule mi yalon ko Nsafono is a big achievement ngamin achieve within a short period of 3 years considering ngamin inherit nga kelo min taranunje nga dunu be taraje kaw julol be jo you know kule mi yalon ko we've done well nga revenue nyim fanam boost from let's say then council ka 70 80 or 90 million now it is getting almost 240 million ngawla so the last year this year our target can we increase to almost about 300 million. That is our target. And we are fighting so hard.
But any difficulties towards this revenue collection or anything pertaining? Do you have any issues facing or challenges that you're facing currently?
No, saying at the moment, challenge face at the moment is that a challenge is Jamal overcome, but we still have a lot of challenges because we are dealing with revenue collectors. Many along still now, don't look at revenue news suppress. Well, I mean to go near Willie Sabat collect. Sakum Marseto collect all menu katara Marseot. Some of them ni nyanda Willie Sabat felanan. Ikaje ni Willie killing Kemelulina, what I'm Willie killing Kemesaba, what I'm Willie killing Kemefla. These are things that we are battling every day. You know what I mean? Imam Batan, but for us, and we are fighting so hard against that. So, is it last week before last? One of our one of the Kamoni member, Minka collection okide, notice learning and 1,500 lakana we out. No covering our job on by cooler bekerinja. Now, abonamin bijeng no bonding asam lado ng modo fenanje. Boya that we call menanin. So that tells you this kind of things are happening. So we are monitoring those on a daily basis. So what challenges that which we are still facing. And then Marcelo coming Manila Boyokono. Natale 6 zone sort of 3 zone be bonembulu. So that is a big problem because I took 3 zone of our revenue collection watata. Imurunda Mansakunda Marceo Minloje, Gomansakunda Altame, Abushi, Mansana Cafe and Council. So there, Wokodoni to look or collect, they are putting it at their own at their own special account. We don't even know what is happening with that. But all of those are challenges, and the woman get the killing could will matter because Kabir no follow central government, ye kelolo boying gang to make sure Kana revenue and then because of all politics, fear the wala go, you kodo should nyanda should la nyami, ibe do ko min kala west coast abati nale UDP to idea and then NPP to kuya waram party to the diala. But until ma akewo kam until la do ko min do wala mu west coast kola nyanto moment ya so do ko niajibe dolla council a diverse bakela dolla la council diverse ta council mu me beti nyim west coast kon an sa fo gambia mu me ko dolla council jibe ye MPP soto le ye UDP soto ye APRC noto alliance soto ye APRC yes to alliance soto andu ñunu mu le demini anon ko wolbi ke jadim bakele we have been able to bring together one thing and then for us to be able to development or can achievement or member for them ka be register no ka be sodono a be man for na kamme unin kon.
But chairman, you are accused of employing only United Democratic Party supporters and sympathizers. And you mentioned you have APRC Alliance, you have NPP and other political party members. How are you cooperating with all this?
No, yalo woku mbadanga na address because one tonyen duro ne toku ya ibola. You see, mengeta wo interview na youth representative ni. Na min eko manya na kelaje because I'm UDP let. So na foro dongo UDP le la ticket o wala ntasi birkama ere kanso. So nem mo nyanda dogo so la jal ko mari mu yu ma nyanda dogo ko shot la. Then I cannot buy that because o mumuna de UDP ngol ya wodland. Does that make sense? You only twist. Ya twist ka fo mo le ko chairman o ko adabe UDP do ne employ la. You know what I mean?
You are speaking again. ila video nyumba second again.
And then they will say, hello?
Yes, go on, please. Time being we can.
Eba mo kan.
Yes, being we can say.
So mengu do lando. Hello?
Yes, yama movement report ke. Movement report kamba.
No, but nga fenkele pa jibe kan da fa be ala sa.
No, it's okay. It's okay, sir. It's okay.
It's okay. Okay. Wom accumulate wala na you see narrative is na akata purka at the bomb. When focus and cool kata nyamin they very you would that the chairman kata become more employment manke atun fa you it's but more minu kake a family ala ko to Dolla Council is very diverse. APRC Alliance Lebije, APRC Noto Alliance Lebije, PP Lebije, UDP Lebije, Ni Bele Bedogola, Ni Bele Kelo ke Kampruka make so na fenyanta dala nyami, revenue nyanda nyala nyama, I now nyama. Bele ngake nyola. Bele ngake nyola. You see what I mean? So among for so mol min ko fo be kuma kanza wala be toñindiro le be tumiro la mi yalon ko to nyata ko ma andi yalla na ko to nyata ko.
Well, Chairman, we also want to talk about Ngakalamjale. There was a time this voter registration process in the West Coast, tension in Warata between Chairman Yankuba Darboe, other people, Lialanko, his subordinates, and also Sidin Jai from one police station to another, from one registration center to another. How do you manage with all these tensions? Big Chairman Darboe Finadiam Tajang and Sidin Jai, and Anamuru Masakunda, how do you manage going with all the stuff and then the so far registration in Katanyani? How is your standing?
No, yalong atondi la fang registration oni. Njolunga polling agent le soto dulamu me. So mbijele we started getting info nyimulka follow nga men soto wala min ko ye birth certificate le dra mi ano katara fo ananga moy kamen fo wala 300,000 dol ba fala 400,000. So ila fa kanyine be di molla ila fa menu register bari nga min long wala min ko the majority of them will have to register West Coast le.
Okay.
So, tap palea jela no nyin tap palea be bo kan nam sakunda MPP na la molle ba ku ya understand. So kabiri nga umoy nata fa ko okay so nela West Coast we have to have a vigilante group. And then that vigilante group, the leader of the region itself should lead it. It cannot be any other person. It has to be yourself. That's what leadership is about. You don't just become a leader and then hide behind the crowd. You want to lead. And then if there's a so at that we begin to na force information of work that are tangible. You go SIS la mando le budget tele follow nataka kamol fina register anina UDP polling agent holding executive order danyola o Suleiman Sawnyol be ma be daje so inata de bonni jata tata amurun da back the station at Bukanana. But another minke at Omala Muso and at one in the same birth certificate. So you see how the term where Purkanying birth certificate will register. So Kabiru no ko This is now, these people are determined. Like we said, this year is do or die. And we have to mean that. You understand? We have to be very serious about that. So Neutral, they are determined to do it by force. What have we got to lose if we have to also stand up and say, no, it's not going to happen? What is the worst that can happen? They shoot us, or they lock us up, or whatever. But we know whatever consequences, it is because of it is our patriotic duty to our nation. So it's worth any sacrifice. So where at go, kabiring wo musola information of futadana, we decided. So kaminke wala mnyinduko, nin na mul mamandra ila MPP goal kana. Senata, then Sidi Njai nata, then Demba Sabal fana nata jele, but will be Demba Sabal ta woman taraje. So Sidi Njai, kabiring namole musun nungonyum, in a Bruce B police station, fana na our time wall. Don't end that one. But to tell you the truth, kabiring na benda lumme. Sidi Njai from prison nyam. And another mingle letter are totally different things. Because Kabrin Nabenda, see the guy was at a follow look, as I'm Yalum Mimbekala, be sign chairman or Mufalim Benueta. You understand? So, but Kabrin, so, Ntanada Mimfa, all of you design Beminga, we have to open a channel between you and Suleiman Sound. It's like if we have these issues, you will get informed. And then we get informed because it is our duty to make sure those who are ineligible to vote should not be registered on our electoral roll. And not all until we will resist that. We are not going to accept it. You understand? So this was the agreement we had with them. But the next day, the same woman came back with even more people. After we reported them to the police. This is what I mean. In fact, the next day, and more people managed, they brought her as an agent.
Okay.
So we realized that, and then the agreement to contact Sirinya, I contact her, we have every right. Come home, whoever we want to be our agent, you guys cannot stop, cannot do anything. Kuma kalantam palu, aman fono nyati lo I will for Suleiman on phone. Suleiman, this Sudinja, I told you, this guy is not a naughty guy. So,
But,
we
go on, please. Proceed.
Huh?
Proceed.
No, we realize that these people really are playing with us, but they really mean what they want, what their objective, really want to achieve their objective. Well, come all register, and they are not eligible to vote to be registered on our electoral roll. And you know what has happened? IEC wasn't helpful. The police too have not been helpful. We realized that we were like a system. The whole system was part of the deal that is going on. So the only other way now is to resist against the whole system. And that is not only resisting against the MPP, but you have to against the IEC and resist against the police as well. Because all of them want to play this game against us.
But if you say you have to resist against NPP, IEC, and the police, they want to say all of these institutions that you mentioned have connived together to go against UDP and then also to register people who are foreign nationals.
Yeah, but listen to this. Ntolunga mojele report almost most sabawara mona. And each of those situations, IEC inform the follow, but they don't want to get involved. You get the police, they will just say, in fact, Latria police will balandale go at the reference from Odela. You understand? Go to Bruce police, ye moment report J. Alia Muta with forged documents, birth certificate, Kadi Mula pre register on the electoral roll. Yo for IEC, they don't want to take a step. Yeah for police only. Well, okay, Alta saying, Mokana Najan, you let us do our investigation, do our job. Next day, the party, the incumbent party, Omari Muruna as a polling agent at the registration state, and IECO accept. How do you explain that? If you want to believe in these people, how do you explain that? IECO accept. Ngamin ngal kunu minna kunum kalioko. Nyinka mole your role, very hard qualified. And detail la job mo kaul stop. But don't instead of you will stop, okay, instead of yes, some police, okay. Don't was some police. Dara namole a statement or deep police. Ye femo bege foi pareta. And yalo men fa funny that ye. But I for yalo kudo yalo nako na mon a statement or deep. Ya foi nako. Ya foi nako ibo konyim bannola nyami sa je la drop against that woman. Do you know that they brought that proposal?
Jamali Obadi Akachakum for police on them IEC or like
police will suggest with the MPP people Kafuko ha yalo Alanganyam Badi Akatanga Bang I Ghana goes somebody. You see how this on serious these people are.
So it's like the police and also an NPP were working together in this case.
Yeah, we work. They system. We have to resist all of them. You know, we have to resist all three of them: police, IEC, and then MPP.
But Chairman, there are a lot of people who are saying IEC are trustworthy, that we can rely on them in this process and in the coming elections. Do you believe we can still rely on them? We can rely on IEC during election registration process they might not take part on this process. Do you believe we can rely on IEC on this process?
Well, what is the other option we have? I mean, the thing is, what I am telling you is, because the IEC is a broad it's a big organization, you understand? The actions that happen at Bruceby and West Coast is the one that I am relating to you. Whether these actions are up to the top, I cannot vouch for that because I'm not present there. But the experience I have, that's what I'm saying. It is left to everyone to make their own conclusion on IEC. You know, if you don't have any doubt in them, you can trust them. If you have doubt in them, you can do what they know. Based on that experience, we were like, no. We are not this thing be policed by the IEC itself. We're going to make sure we do about it to make sure you are not supposed to be registered, you are not registered. And then, we've seen that resistance all across the country. People resisting and fighting and all lot of quarreling and arguing to make sure Molmin Manyana register like can register in the electoral roll. So we meet and yes, you can trust IEC, but do you trust them to do this thing on their own? So and don't like I don't trust them to deal with all of that. And we have to we do the vigilante. And we've seen even the fact that Lua Minfo is clear. Police only other people keep saying, in fact, up to date, Imam more prosecute because he come in for all of them to go. IEC more refer, it told them more prosecute. So, until a case will mean do samba. Namoli witness, a statement or table, a statement or D. That going to see.
Okay, also, Chairman, Nico, for example, Paman is Senegalese nationality, Marty. Anata ko abe banko kaito nyala wala attestation de la police banko kaito diala and then maybe board IEC representative of other political parties ya je winin de pamane amanje banko dimati and Naba Nyama, a Kanyan Kaito Mundial, Manyanadila. But other political parties are saying they should wait for revising court. Do you think it makes sense to wait for revising court when a person can automatically be stopped from obtaining our voters' cards illegally?
No, no, no. If Pamane comes with a valid document, not document. If Pamane comes valid document, I register and I believe ko Pamane Manke government, I can wait for the revising court. But if Pamane comes with a forged, that's a criminal offense. That one you don't wait for revising court. You make
But
sure
Chairman,
that
if
document.
a lot of people, you have over 60, 60, 50, model they are minors, banko kaito table. All they obtain to get, all they get is to have our voters card, attestation. Do you think it is definitely um, not should to be considerable kaje ko ka banko la kayto tika kadi mola mumi yalanko amang ke banko di moto wala amang kayti tande mi yalanko is a valid document min nyanta e wosto no namanke attestation not yamira alkalo min be banko sate do for example iko farafenya asibu banko di mo be lonno ko nyimmu banko di moto wo satinala asi attestation di lo
No, attestation I'm totally, but it is the law. What the law said is the law. Nin loco, alcalo moment attest. Kule nyanda ka kaito soto. Then we have to nimalla na attest no nyun copy we take the matter to court. What we are delicate situation of what we are saying is alcalo, you know, we have situation alcalo balanda. I'm going to mention alcalo the names will because near okay. You can data know. But
yeah
balanda. We know of a lot of alcalo balanda in this registration process. Do be jefan, o brikama da ka me long mo mil la to attest nola. And then atana la ate da mala bita la kaburo ko nan ate o sede and nola. There is a lot of them there. Mim ngam info en dol ka scenario min fo wolam they come for document. The inning birth certificate or kana mi alon go is not genuine, it's not valid birth certificate. Omu forgery le. Police ka fa wala ko. Inya la fa ton la fa. For document. Law is very clear. If they come with valid document,
ila video chairman
are not happy with document.
Stay with us, chairman.
Okay, let me try that and that will come with you.
Yes, I think Nisi telephone we use now is better, and because a lot of people is sometimes I can think. Yes, Simon you are good to go now.
Simon Agan.
Yes, even I can very well.
Okay. Let's a trailer because I am connected on the Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi I think is staying out. I don't know. Maybe that is the situation. I want to try into another one and see if that will work.
Yes, that's fine. You can switch to another network now.
Let me try that quickly. New woman work like you said. We can go on to the phone one.
Yes, and that should be quickly.
Okay, let's try this once more.
Okay, it's better. It's better.
Is better.
Yes.
Okay, we can try this one, but you're going to maybe you're going to excuse me 1 minute. Let me just get a charger for this one. Charger was set a charge and then we might not be able to the interruption or so. But I think this one will be much better.
Yeah, it's much better, in fact.
It's much better, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, just give me 1 minute. I'm just going to get up and then get the charger and then come
Please.
back.
Thank you. Alimbana Liga. Anyways. Yo, kuna si more for an updated media long. Man of audio been coming very well, but the opportunities are created to carry gay. Tell me along for the Kalamwi Kibaro network. Kafali ko nyim platform alternate nyim platform banko dimo letati nyim platform banko fuaro letati nyim platform mo letati miliaron ko e kala fi tole moy mol be ke to moy no be diamo ko alternate to yalla andu mo banko be na fati be loro wal fanan bare butum chairman fela mo fanan chairman si continue do tadamit.
Okay, so même faut quand attendez le fin akelo bodal dem même do la fin no
kenya be diamo kan voter registration process ko la IEC
so même faut ko wolem document on ni na man valid for document what doesn't woman na revision code but la for document on and yalla même vont yeah mol mino ni wo fo document o gana ni mu da doron yalla sumo buka sumo kango ka janyaw nyam bar ni amu da sunyaro la ak ni ba ga somo do buka wala kage e mu da doron ikajele be dol ke borle dolu wol ka straight away ka guilty le al dani ya fo ya no danyana fendan ni ne kada in Faratu police station nga dol samba wotole. In fact, what of nga mim fa taraje but nga Faratu police station scenario for min kata wodo ya jele wo mole mola ida kaya ba ma ko la gambe kay to da kay a charge kodola we o kodojo o mari founding atamandre MPP ni nyim do we situational ja capitalize ta wala ka.
Okay.
So another min for ya I ni ba certificate wala fo ja dra kay ko ini nyeta be fengo so be voters card. You see how people are seizing the opportunity cut Gambian documental fraud during this process because the very institution Minyanta protector, which is the Gambian state, is complicit in the fraud. What a problem when you vote, sir. So what are the almost even so Mari ko yeta would la o Mari chat kodola. Can you imagine? Where kodo diala after that kaya ko taying taje bakaido da would lande o muta. So one had a car formula no. Ning mole kondanga na nyin lambe kaito so landanga Mari jo kodola pra na kaito so. You see what I'm saying? Imagine wasifa some police will go no if it is election related ndol defend la voning IEC or case near refer to us. What kind of a nation are we living in? Sometimes we don't even understand. People electing on their duties and they expect the country to move forward. This is a problem. So citizens like ourselves and many other people the standard stop from registering in our Fenkoni. And then Jamaba near one, because Yalu Namoli is rooted. But Modul BJ, will they try to capitalize on the situation because Yajalako, Jan, because the state is so desperate to register anybody, so I can be that anybody. So I can also go and register and also be able to get my Gambian documents through this. You understand? Very, very bad. So the consequences, the implications of what they're doing, it all they don't even know.
We also want to talk about NPP politics of tribalism, exclusion, Safoko identity politics. NPP yabe tama kanyami ni di amda watu ngani Safoko UDP mu manding compatibility UDP lunta janni UDP finti and we have had sitting there a statement towards Mandinkas relating them And then kuma kan for me yaron ko muyo mandia. You stand on that when you had what did you guys say?
No, Sirinjaya Minke. I'm glad that Ngamra Ngajele Suleiman Ben Sware Asafako, I am Mimfo. It is not only against Mandinkas, but it is against every other tribe in the Gambia. Because Sirinjaya Min confess or I mean admit. Wala nyinti ko nyunuka mulu baile. Wareka mulu bali doku walale or promotion or simply because they are Mandinkas. That is very,
Mm-hmm.
very wrong.
Mm-hmm.
One is just wrong. Nobody should accept or condone that. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I don't know if there cannot be any justification for what he's done, I mean forward land. And then me and surprise is that President Barrow man any decisive action or that. But kaita ni mon la ko ate he endorsed that. Pour ka mo bali doko la ka mo bali promotion because he's mandinka. That is very very sad because wole munu system of the mimenu Gambia and we fought so hard pour ka system on yum bonni inside nim baro nana things will change now baro ya sidi njanyol mo munu banu jamme bala when that was happening
Mm-hmm.
he brought the same around him no wonder nyun la man sakunda man tarataga. Because what we understand is, Mansakunda Anila Vatala, you need competent people, regardless of their race, tribe, background, or whatever. You need competent people, and honest people. But need to more discriminate simply because Allah can you seal it. What you see car? No, that is very bad. It is very Ning is very on Gambia. You understand? Because Gambia no,
Mm-hmm.
Gambia e ka bo sido to le star sido to ko en laftal dingol la pour football. They will never say, oh, imam bunyi si cardon then no deal. No.
Mm-hmm.
They are more than happy. Ye dingo min kulu ye fango be kay ya fedo far e ko ngan dingo dile pour yake musot. Yalo wol mango hate so.
Mm-hmm.
So this notion, these politics, other countries, many a real tribalism sort of. Real tribalism sort of. Well, they don't go into well because some yenyo from futu. Because some yenyo la cordal jibe, yenyo fenkete. But but in Gambia,
Mm-hmm.
they use tribe for politics. They use tribe can make so people vote one way or the other. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
And the architects of these tribal politics is Sidinjai and his ilks.
Okay.
They are the ones that are Sako Sidinjai number one. And then sign Namara Gambia Bele Atalonko. That is the sort of person he is. But what he's doing is B, he might get away with it, but the day of reckoning will come on him. Because I Gambia Bele Kamfa, I Gambia Bele near Kuyande,
Mm-hmm.
and this is not the first time I work with Gambianol. Gambianol yela karto fayjane la president tombong, ate sini njay kilon ko president te kalindela o bangoga. Ay atinam molu borta, modulu fata, modulu baramata, mol la bagasul sandisul kasarata bagasul kasarata,
Mm-hmm.
all because of this one person, this one Sidinja. He has a second chance to repent, prior repentance, but he is not doing that. He refused to repent. Instead, he wants to repeat the evils that he had done in the past.
But chairman, you see a lot of people in NPP and suffer the same mindset because we have had Janning sitting there with Yamla Ministers that were the same statement I would be in Kia. Adam Goro himself, I will care Elara, Kaitan Lokeko, Manding Kul Al Kate Fine. You are here is the only place near along Alman Kate Fine and into fire along Alman Kate Fine. My eminence is that with the same statement I already. Imamira Kosidin Jai, Afanana Kumakamo is something me along with that I can focus, Kacha, what informal castle without even realizing Kumakamo me along with ball for how damaging it is to our societies.
Yes, you can say that ikakuma info. It forms part of it. But Sidin Jai, what Sidin Jai has admitted, I mean
Mm.
confess, is that someone had been victimized. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Someone, Barrow, you can say that as a political banter in a political platform. Alkana karto faye, alkarto faintole, albuka karto faye, all that thing. We can condemn that, and then we can raise concerns about it because we don't want tribe use in our politics completely. But what Sidinjai admitted to is to say ko ngamu balila man do ko sotono wara man promotion or sotono simply because I'm a man. That is wrong. That is very wrong. That is very, very wrong. I remember covering a situation like that happened. And then people were saying, ko, Mandinko te Kenola President of Nyambangoga because she
Mm.
will take file. I responded to say that that is a coup d'etat of a party leader, and that is wrong. I and then more jumped everybody, but I said, if you had said that against Woloffs, I would have come back and said the same thing, full as the same thing. And then Attorney Levang, Sarahul is the same thing and Jola's the same thing. Because you know why, Pamani?
Mm-hmm.
Ntebe karto nyini la wati mena in West Coast. Fuloli ya fainye, Mandinkoli ya fainye,
Mm-hmm.
Jolali ya fainye, Suruwali ya fainye. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And then none of these people mafo konte karto file because imonye sikarleti. No, they did not. I have Neyman Nasir, Jargambo is there, Jarga is there, Jenaba Job is there. These are but they are my campaign leaders in Neyman Nasiru, Nema Kunku, Kanana Kunku Janketaya, and all that areas. And then not only them, their family, friends, and other people. In fact, I don't want to give some of our tips, our campaign tips to on the public here because okay, MPP Nkoliale yelo nyame sitaye okulke. But there's a whole group mini alonko
Mm-hmm.
ibeo mafongola. They specialize in a particular profession. That profession of the book. I don't want to give them tips. But until tata le nimul benda. Wolmanga manenga. But they told me come kartu file ndu ya fainyela and they murunde ya fai. There's a group in Nema Musu Kafo ben Nema Gafo in Nopsa Jeker. Wol bemu surwa musolle. Wol campaign tanyele imanda wole kartu fainye andu ye isulata min nambul wala mbalito wala na kabringam balito sambe nke kuma ngo ko mbalito futata lay ko nya ifane min fonye iye wallahi do temmandele. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that is how our society is. And then Fonyi,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Nyasi is our campaign leader in Fonyi Councillor. We have Ajangha. Ajangha Jeju is the head of Fonyi Bintang, an executive member. These people have done so much campaigning in Fonyi. In fact, Fonyi Jaro, we beat Attorney Levang, MPP in that one. Even Kanilai, we had 3 or 4 votes from Kanilai.
So some people voted for you from Kanila.
In Kanila, we have 3 votes or 4 votes in Kanila. And that is well before what we have done now and what we've done in Kanila. Today, I can tell you in Kanila, if we should go into election, we will get far more than that votes in Kanila.
Mm-hmm.
Because today I have built a good and so much relationship with so many people in Kanila. So this is the reality of the Gambia. And then let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
In West Coast, because I can speak for West Coast. I know West Coast. I am the elected representative of West Coast. I speak to Komingaminfo. I have councillors that are from MPP, councillors from APRC No to Alliance, councillors from APRCS to Alliance, councillors from UDP. They always talk to me. We talk about politics, about what is happening on the ground, where people are with us, with our position, our leadership, ourselves, and our party. And what are the likely chances that they might vote for us if this condition is there or that is there? What are the chances that people have changed? And then not only that, Pamani.
Mm-hmm.
In I can tell you today that the confidence I have in Foni is a lot. So and then before the last election, uh, yalum bitamon lem fulol.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mama Kande instead of GDC la because GDC man candidate sotono in West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
They put their support behind the PPP candidate. But one of the leaders in the fuller community of West Coast happens to be man.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Ngawolo Nyami na UDP nka keba membe nyomi lowa nyomi
Mm-hmm.
Samba Jibe.
He was in my house today.
Samba
I
Jibe.
couldn't again.
Aha, Samba Jibe nyine nka atele akonye mko akonye mbatu nge Samba nga mole lonja miya lonko ate kango shot back na fula community to in West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Laftale ngata nge karafa nga make so nga convince prae karte o fayi. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So kabirin data where nuwaga kachala then dunda namusola fenkoto akonye ko ite munta bitanneta akonye fe malo ka futu mbarnola akonye mbarno ka ila kumo fanyele bar malo ko itelam akonye nyimu kubanno akonye nyimu kubanno. You see, so that's why I can tell you with full certainty that I have had the support and the endorsement of all the tribes that are in West Coast region. I had a big support in the Manjago community, in Sarahule community, all of the communities in West Coast region. So how can I be able to come and say, Gambia, people vote on only tribal line? No. And then you see, most of those people who vote for me, I'm carrying them to vote for UDP. This is why Kelo Bebengang in West Coast, because they know that we carry a massive big base, political
I
base.
would want us to talk about that, Chairman, but getting the fellow quickly, I want us to talk about the corruption because for the benefit of our listeners, Mbela from Tacha, because watching Ibajala Sabali ala pistole mesi nanam ako Chairman Darboe Taw bisa muy UFC mol fane wuli the money you from Bombo e pull against Chairman Darboe. He is standing against all that. But we want quickly to talk about corruption in the country. Because Mujama Suteko, itala one of your slogans, Walena moment when Sunyaro e bang, Sunyaro e dang, Sunyaro e bo, Banco de Moedi tara, a Trimocono e balo, Banco Balintimocono, Banco Tamumita Sila. Corruption level in the country, and your stand to stop to stop that. What would you tell people, Maria and Colbel Lamika?
Corruption wole banko londi. Wole atina Gambia bitakan koma abukatanya. Corruption is so rampant, it's so bad and terrible in that country. Labang sainga ebika ken nukungo kono de akaka malbalia abe malbalia ke kan sai. You understand? That is the problem. That's where we are at the moment. Because near commission or commission London, we get to see aka kele labang ifang kava near what's on Gambia read or other newspapers. You see corruption happening on a daily basis, on a broad daylight happening in our country. It's unacceptable. Hey, Banco Boga corrupt I prosper. We have seen until we are a living witness to that at Brikama Area Council. That council was completely dead. It was completely dead. The only reason why in 3 years we've been able to succeed a little bit is because we ourselves said to ourselves that we are not going to be corrupt. We are not going to take anything that we are not supposed to have. Not even a dalasi, not even a butut. And if we don't have it, no one else should have. So corruption or kelo starts with the leader. Anybody who tells you you can fight corruption from the bottom while the leadership is corrupt, it's not possible. It doesn't happen. the top must be the one that eliminates first, and then everybody follows suit. Because you can't follow leader. The people are as bad as their leader, or the leader is as bad as the people. But it is the people are as bad as the leader. If the leader is bad, everybody becomes bad. But corruption, any successful country across the dunia, any country that is prospering, check their corruption index. You'll find that they are the lowest, or they are almost having zero tolerance on corruption. Hey, no country survives if everybody wants to have whatever they want to have from a public purse. It's not going to happen, because every development of that country, every progress of that country is on the public purse. A baby big illending wo public jamale la kodola jama be la kodoni, but nite ko jamala kodo ite killing ite sula ta mingo mene be wolo bonde la woto ite la sulo dum buga ba sa jama min tuma la jama be non.
Exactly. Kabirin Barola Masakuna Besila, we have seen a lot of people really could be millionaire today almost. Many la bunyangol driving luxurious vehicles. Wolmu danaka isafal kanyani. Hani file balian wal cabins no daily, what because no. They are complete strugglers. Basically, Kajal Fanko Purwali, they put something on the table was very extremely difficult for them. Now they are millionaires. And maybe even Fokan probably is the same case. Neil Gibe Barola Masakunda talking about politics still. What is your say on that?
So I millionaires, I don't know about millionaires, but Mingera say ni palace better. They say domandin so no le mean say taman no. But among a situation where you become a millionaire overnight, it's not possible. You see what I mean? But doku nibala in that place. Yalu mune fa okata ye. Let me give you a scenario here. Yajale kabrun tol covering kelo that with the people many alongo, we hold them responsible for what was happening at the council. You know, duma it all that vulkane kelo boy intolka. Wala na nimbe nyin kelo la ninga kelekang. I just look at them and I'm like, okay, it's not new. I've been through it. Lumem police will be na council on mudalebe file motobalka. Na dokulal mini bije phone like Ali Saba. Ali Sambe kana murunda. The problem was yet. Motivalet. You see what I mean? Molu mini be dokulam koto bi wala kaw. Ibafala otomo funding data court case la banyun. Yalo ni bam sakunda en samba court case la banyun. Mini be dokula je. Ikapunyo natinala nying bina bata je mile 2 abetarrawol do mut. Nye mul tora jambake. Ye corruption o keloje. Sono keloje ka kele minu fa wala follow ke kel. You understand? Bari mira jannen tol kana wulmin ben kele kan wulmin bo kelo be kega. Ila salary bikata minun 2,500 la per month. You understand?
Okay.
They're getting almost $9,000 a month.
Now,
Kabiri dolfon ela salary sort of. But I'm mistake. But y'all minketa because I don't. The reason why I don't want it because he found Natalie apologize. Konyako ntol bal ntol ndialo ntol man ko understand. Ntol wala ya nan ntol bal kajaf kan number butu alal hako boy ni ndon dajana benan ko no. Akata nyindo ntol we were not fighting for ourselves. Mol len tol kinanja. And one more ko ilandamo imala fi moye la namo tinya. That's the fight. Ntol na rawo kelol. So nenga moja memba namo tinya la fon ni sa dunyola biko mole diko ni lanno la sotona wala ne fenanja. Andum kabir mo kelo ke gam batol fana na kelo ke kan baratul moja. Atul yen dol mutal jawoti ali ko be kenna dolu be safol fela nan dolu be nasolu junjun na dal was crazy man. Safol be junjun nasol be junjun na dal safol be fenkela jana and then all kind of things suto e katara jele e kumande ko mola be kenyo sar kan labe de fela samoni dare singo bakatula but we were fighting for them. They didn't know. police will not in samba o police killing le kana ga fanya bi ale ma ko septic tangole na kamol samba will samba station or can detain.
But remember your people wanted you to go to mile 2.
Yes. You go no will go. Yalo ninda banyuni to ga fola tala bi ba samba. Ninkata mile 2 le nyimanta nala bi.
Okay. Chairman, actually, I think
I have scenarios where nasista tata num kulid lado to ani modolo mun na senior staff all over ani mo lebe na dia mo na ka fay yanku ba ka fay wota nyinam ata nyinam banna balula ko way ben mi bugo wona ko al siali ajibe jannen December o be fala wota balul way ko man na ko nyi hakilo tude nyim vengo nga sieten kuntak tous ta kala nan den nyunu nga den nyunu ndele in fact ni mege gunda mbe futale la bade plan de la bade ko jela you know what I mean but all of that because you need there was a lot corruption on Iba Kelela. What are you want to talk about somebody being corrupt? That's the consequence you have to face. So if you go through what we went through, it is not surprising. It doesn't bother you. Let them talk, but what you have to say is the truth. And you have to believe in it and stand up for it. And corruption is very bad. Ayatina mbenga jele. Corruption on ayatina would didn't say in father in Gambia. Because someone decided to cut the corners, Kalaisino the company Lami Alonko will qualify ka medicinal ka borol dada and be able to export it to Gambia. But ye cut corners, ye kodo mutebulu, ye laisino dila ye borol fena or borol become poison and they were killing our people.
Chairman, we have seen a very committed and consistent team. Me Alonko, you are working with them. Mofla mi yalan ko ne soke kono bake wol keta on social media wol keta bayo sonko wani bo ka sidiki jabe ira ko be ka fo nyaala idia hani mo ko yankuba sare si mo ko do they already have something that they can put on the table, you know. How are you coping with these people? Mune atu ni motivation on yimbe nyil talk. Why do they believe so much in Yankuba? Yankuba can do this, and then Yankuba is there, and then he's going to deliver whatever expectation was in him. After all the allegations and then attacks and all that, how are you working with these people?
No, yalo near Korosi. I told you from Bio. Bio is more than a brother. You know what I mean? Bio is someone that I don't want to go to a war without him being with me because he's somebody nganongo nako primata borla NBJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember, let me give you a scenario here. Scenario jelen dara nung jana aton dila fam banjum. Lumen dara banjum.
Yeah.
So lumen ye boru turemuta. So nada janding kana mufutata kewa sabal de nada kunyoko. Ita la bayo mo be kara ko do problem o da mune kerinja kay ko mu problem ko nyoko atani police ol ye sonko da di jam mu fengel nga okay nga be diabla so kabirim bayo nara akara mala ni police do la sonko la de kabra futana la. You know what I did? I just tell him, I said, Bayo, let's go. So you see, because I know if they're going to kill me, Nimbayo Veloren Goma, he will die with me there. That's how we are. You know what I mean? We've been in prison. Yen Sorom Mile Tule, I know the type of person he is, and I know that he is Atondilefang. Silamotadala. You know, and then Nai Mimuta, and he believes it to be true. He will die on it. He will die on that thing. That's bio for you. You know what I mean? In my campaign, you have to understand that my whole campaign, Siddiq and Bio were the two people that I definitely relied on so much, on so many things, you know. And then even in office, there are two people that I rely on so many things.
But you are relying on Bio. I'm not talking about Bio, but Siddiq. He is from Jara. Jara ko ila kuma soniare.
Oh, but Siddiq Farmer wala came as a netgo. Mommy came as a long.
No. But I'm just pulling his leg. We want to talk about the big issue here. Yankuba, we have had so many complaints. Yankuba Akuliata, Yankuba Abika Findu, Yankuba UMC, Yankuba Momodu Sabali, Abika Safiri Fidije. He is always there on social media, defending himself, defending the council, and going after Talibanese people. Mune will be trigger in UMC Temo, Mosaba Temo, the confrontation, the attacks, the resistance, all that. Mune will be some.
No, Yalo, let me clear something. You see me, because Yalo neighbor for the time, Gavela is not only Yankuba. He come here for Yankuba and Sidik and bio. Sometimes you can wonder for an large and wonder for. You know what I mean? But let me clarify this here. Yajale for us here, Moneta for the ending as a fall nala molmoine. And they are opposition like us. In anything the mama kandena molmoina. You see what I mean? In anything any APRC, you wouldn't hear us back and forth with APRC or any other political party. But UMC always hear us ni UMC in Talib Nalamo. You understand? So why? Why is that? Why is it that Yankuba doesn't have problem with any other political grouping? In fact, one more political party, it all man produce talify manka party of the yal mimu problem with wala mnyundo UMC, they see me as their Adam Barrow. I'm their Adam Barrow. You see what I mean? I'm the incumbent that they want to unseat so that they can sit in my place. that's the way I see it. But the reality is this. Yeah? You see, UMC, yeah, they've been attacking us for the longest period possible. We don't bother them. We don't come after them. But there are times, because for us, narrative is very important. Narrative is very important. You see narrative. Niman silala. Ni silala mola weche la ning whole thing. Your narrative blind flows. Then you have a problem. Because the narrative will come back to haunt you at some point. Yes, Jawara Jele, President Jawara. Femma la masakunda bo in the food Mimron Kankafo Jawara's Mantakunda is corrupt. But after, you see the military overthrew because they believe that Jawara is corrupt and his government was corrupt. You understand? That's why they were talking about transparency, accountability, and probity, because they said there was corruption. We need transparency, we need accountability, we need probity. Those were their three slogans. So you see the danger of not countering narratives. So I don't depend on anybody to counter narratives for me. I do it myself.
So you don't have a team that you pay people or you call people, you need to go and confront him. You don't do that.
No. I don't do that. In fact, you know what happened? My own team, the one that is always on my neck, you cannot respond, you cannot do this, you cannot do that, you cannot do that. That's my team. You know what I mean? Siddiq would call me and say, no, you shouldn't respond. I get calls from left, right, and center. They said you shouldn't respond. Bio would even call, and will say, no, don't do this, don't do that. And then sometimes we have to even argue about those things because they would say, no, I'm going to do it. Like Bio will say, he is going to do it himself. I shouldn't get involved. I'm like, but you cannot do it on your own. You see what I mean? How can I just sit down and let you fight for me, be insulted, and all lot of things? And then I sit down and say, and then every time it comes, I just said, Bio will do it. No, sometimes people need to hear from me. Yajale, the narratives that they've been running. Because Nil after problem or create, because the thing is, they left the UDP. Nobody chased them. They left on their own. But ni parede zako yem baile, iman lafinna, yem vengerana is all a lie. Everybody knows that they left on their own accord. Nobody chased them. They left on their own accord. itol kini wala ko ntol nanta lola against party nim pabi lota nanta lola fe sign pabi lota fe mo ye wuja do ko handol kata ntol we are going to stand on our own. Then they said he's the winnable candidate. Talib is the winnable candidate. So, but you see, after all these things, we kept our cool, we maintained our thing going, and then they started attacking. But when they attack, we don't come back to debunk. But when they come up with narratives, then we come back to clarify things, and then we start telling people who they themselves are. Because they came Kafumulioko, nte lafta bawu senu coup d'etat. That is diamo bena the world. And the mini was story in safe. It's all Talib la payroll newspaper level. We know that. Alan payroll newspaper platform or level. Well, more Gambian Times or whatever times they call themselves. You understand? So we know how we know that this is serious because we started receiving calls from people. Mol kan kumandi ka fonyo ko dukara ngaldani alkana baba boycott yang ko bayta fanan kana nyinke
so already people believe ko you baba boycott already
because it was going everywhere and until for ma kalamda we didn't even and yalla mem fa funny tay nteni bawsenu be diamola a day before or the day before I assigned Fennella. I was working on that. This press release is going the following day. I am betraying Baba. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Do you see what I mean? Ibada je imagine recently nimem fana nate ko ndanga televuno le fa bawsen tulo. It'll the same people le kan nimnyum kana yejele ila ko be moment wala mnduko ila ftale ka proof mole go talib ye minke bawsen na talib da mama o ke yanko ba fana wala kala o yanko ba fana ka wosu o yanko ba ka ko le ke bawsen na min yalan ko wala jawya da talib kamen kala. It's all nonsense. It's a lie. Let me explain this to people more long because it's very important. Ye bawsen je ning bawsen la fantol diamondo la kula mi yalan ko is controversial mbaka diam telefono do sako ka telefono fandi motulo. You understand? Na yen kumande ning kula ma yanda me address la ye aben kumanda la fanye yan kuban sulata la Friday waran Sunday al nana this time ninga moy tro sako na ko ni bayo ni sidi ngalo ko kota de ko la ya
do nim fane ya moy kala ko ikadan di du rohol ko
ali ninga moy tro ngalo ko o abe dundanyo do ga malo ngam tinya bara dele dundanyo sala won kota de you understand so nim fana aka mola sindije I am bros. You know what I mean? Asem bros la fenke nim pare da budum ka yo budum na nge hako danu ko budum mawlu wo kam binda jara ngata. You understand? So telefono do that is just not real because bawsen ni wen document telefono to kufla la either I instructional so do nyanda mengela nyanda assignment wala kala wala nyanda futala dulato comme ni sango kata dami ngata mantano ko nyey taje waran programme wolem ngata woto waran ay asula da fenn la waran ngam fenn ñinke. That's what is happening. You understand? O ayun kuman le pour ka douane o ayun kuman le to check on me and then how me and my family are doing.
Okay, but Yankuba more begin me alam ko talib ni made tofu and you came all out kafo men talib lota wala ni UDP talib temeni ita kasi fela UDP and then you will convince people not to more begin me alam ko ya ko statement or me alam ko amanya na fola more specifically ko ndi mugul munjo ko Yankuba Darboe inata fo nga mol moy mi yalla wol fana ba fo ko talib ne may Yankuba to fala statement ko mi anyway bari ya jare anytime Yankuba ka finta la ha talib to talib finta jande UNC teng mune o be samal
Yalo ya mo la jabela adonne la fang which ye damen follow for coming ka fo nen talib ketta teng ta karto fayla wo they was wo fota nyaming aning aka interpret nyama two different things. Because tenga min fo wolam nyinduko talib the min ke kanu UDP. That's exactly what President Barrow yemin kanu UDP. And we condemn him. And I never vote for President Barrow. So why shouldn't I not vote for President Barrow because of what he did? And if Talib is doing the same thing, Talib, am I not a hypocrite? I'll be a hypocrite. You're trying to hijack the party. Yo ibe mul sanna duma ibe kodo dila mole ibe mul fenkelate ibe mul kala bulu jaloto will be fenkele in the party, and then you are hijacking it literally. That was what Barrow movement was doing in UDP. And I said, no, I will not subscribe to that. And then anybody, Barrow, and I never voted for Barrow ever since. So why should I vote for Talib? That's what I said. If that continues and then he ended up hijacking the party, I will not support him. You understand? I will not support him and I will not vote for him because, and I gave the example of Barola's situation. That's exactly what he was doing. Understand? But the way they want to say it is they don't want to say those conditions that I have attached to that, but they want to say, go, Yankuba said that the cut file a Taliban. No, if he comes legitimately, I don't mind voting for him. If it is
but Chairman, you were fearful of his leadership because you felt ko
no,
ala mulu wala abe power stock kanne wala abe power gain kanne no power mu yalon ka yete overshadow somewhere because ya initially janibe diamula ina football major to quality malo talifi da wadanto ya talibi ya kubaje you were everywhere on the spotlight all of a sudden dole ko yankuba ko nin talibi kete ten dekala ten ya mi ko man ko jama triga nan ko mi mol sami ko nyinne keta yankuba feel he has some fear against Talib and his camp Waliatina the Amtateng and the Imam Femwe Talib Karola. What made you speak about Talib deeply into that level? Talib Matem me yemine sute Talib Lakot, wala yemine jeje, yemine faham ye, molma min faham me yatawi.
No, ngamin for William Yentuko, Talib was running he was running a sort of like a campaign. You know, kafule lokan kafokon. And then number two, katun dolfan accused la kon dolfan be kafulo like within the same kafokon in UDP. So that was very dangerous. Man ngol kafu law kafokono kaftelal. So that mean ntama mafo. I believe Ramusa Bali Afolenu, Ahmad Koraya Afonu one time, Dr. Mane Afonu one time. Janin Dalaganangaf. But when it got to us, we said it, Ako Prim, Wulum, Moli Ajalata Talib Fauna, and this notion got Talib Talib became a toe for Nundagan and Vindana. Abem Nonzol, Talib Kamul Kina Yenta to Busa, and Abu Mol Kipri and to for it. Yan Debuka Talib Kumanangane. But Talib Kamul Kile and the Nomaine. You understand? Mbenga jale kabra lotala platform or a congress speech. Yala wa manuku ako local government yala bentolle. Malangol ko ni sirunia black mala wale. So say mommy over say aba funo nyade obukated ma abikated fenkede. It's all fake. It's nothing genuine or nothing real about it or truthful about it. Akam busale akala dinul kina ne na noma ben busale every day. Like I said, they said all kind of things. We're not bothered because political but sometimes narrative is where we run. So they want to bring a wedge between Yanko Badabo and Lawyer Dab. If they succeed at that, Amani, if they succeed at that, it is very, very bad for Yankuba. But it is very, very bad for me too. Because that is my political fact, and then you want to bring a wedge between us. It is not good. You know what I mean? And then it is not good for UDP. It is not good for the whole Gambia because it is against our struggle for a change Fenang in 2026. So all I'm going to go sign it all but Bausen Koto. How is that even right? You know what I mean? Nintol Boda nintol bata bawzir ngoto maybe safono falmat mbele bata ko itol dama so it justifies what they've done even membe la this notion called they betrayed Bausino and they betrayed UDP is haunting them a lot. This is why they need something purka fogo. It's not us alone that done it. Yankuba Fanayaka.
Okay, talking about Talib UMC La Finto, ila Congress rally. People say they see a lot of people, and then he promised Talib he will be the next government in 2026 because Molbuli Alam Kulefintita. Your take on that as a veteran politician?
Which one is that? Yemol Minnesota number?
Yeah, Molbuli, yes.
No, for me, if you ask me, I don't know what the big fuss was about because let me give you the analysis here. Kabirin Talib Fintanaya Bitala Holoto, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Talib knows politics, and I'm so he must have been reading these things. Because Kabra Findra Betakan Holo Nindo. Kabra for the Holo Nimbandanya, how empty it was. Ni UDP mu banta katara farin ne tep kono to delegate sol dorna ka alaw bunda to fam sonko la katara je pour mol kana mol min ka fay be dunne manyan na dun.
That is
You
correct.
understand? But
Mm-hmm.
banta be mol tar la farin mol to tep yena dun kono to e mol tar je. That is how UDP. That's when you know you have a big crowd. But itala moment na momo be banda be dun da holo kono holo fo ma. Then you know ko you are competing with Doyo or other people, you know what I mean? But not big parties like UDP, MPP, because MPP be Congress killer. We've seen that whole lot of Mabaga Siloka Belga Farim Mol. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Now, come to the rally. Yeah? Rally.
Mm-hmm.
Rally Yeminke Terakunda, and you bring big artists. You know what I mean? Rally everywhere attracts both supporters and non-supporters. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So we have seen a rally Lamin Jedabo Emenke Gunjur. The turnout was very good and very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Not long ago, Bakar Baji rally came Brikama SSP.
SSP.
The
Mm-hmm.
turnout was massive. The turnout was massive as well. Esa Valley rally kele in that same place. You would see any other political party, yeah, I just sang, especially political Sanjano Memingon. People will come. And in the rally in that place, I will get the same kind of crowd. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Much more if you bring bows in there. Hey, Ndolga Stadium will fundi. UDP a stadium will fundi. That was the biggest Kabir in Dolmo NNA Padilla Jaminga Avumba Stadium. Nganyono na waram eko hari malam fa hari bulo benga nyon deng samot.
So,
Ndol ka fa mole la na ngata stadium mo ma bufa zone dal ngata stadium mo ngaje fan. We do that. So for me, the crowd, yes, they had a crowd, but I don't think I expect them to have lesser crowd on that. And you know, mobilization on me. For Nima media houses on Beje, Avolako, Sama is the big event. Motul be Fenkel and Natal will be everywhere. Man, people will be even curious to know. Ikamodo he's curious to know whether Kavo Bijelo or not. You know what I mean? So
mm-hmm.
yes, but Kafo, like I said, is
Mm-hmm.
not what it's not. Is a Kafo mobilized no later bay, but getting that Kafo to vote for you is another job. In any
That is
event,
true. Mm-hmm. Go on,
in
please.
any event, I think UMC has a tough, big challenge, and then they have to work really hard. And then it's not gonna be easy. They think it's gonna be easy. You know the way they want this. They want it on a silver plate. They don't want Yankubadabo to talk about them. They don't want Pamane to talk about them. They don't want anybody to talk about them. Hello, welcome to politics. We punch here. All gloves are off. This is not where we say hello. When we were in UDP, this is not UDP, the same kind of business. No more. No. The gloves are off. So this is politics, real politics. Your people throw mud on us. They bring narratives. We come back and attack as well. That's what we do. But like other political parties are doing, if they want to do that too, we can do that too. We can be civil to each other if they want that too. You understand? You leave our party leader. You have to leave our party people, and then we move. But I don't know if I have Alpha Pamane Katla more challenge the Lumon. Pamane Benton for a Fenula Lumon. So they will also say that. You know what I mean? But this is if they want to be civil, we'll be civil. But if they want to attack us and they think we are going to run, no, it's not gonna happen. And then you can narrative mean fin and sign. They try to blackmail people. Kafoko ha yalo nalka talib attack, waka support le di talib la. Alka campaign le ka talib la. It's nonsense, it's bollocks. So nin talib yen dol attack dol buka support so.
Yeah, David.
Waran nin talib la let me tell you, that's the biggest fallacy you can think of. Because let me tell you something. Kabiri tola million dollar attack. Molu will tell Facebook will defend the molo.
Mm-hmm.
I became good friend to Binta Deba. I didn't know Binta before.
Mm-hmm.
It's only after Talib Nalamole Kelomam and the Bintanyol came to my defense, and then I got to know Binta through Wonderful after that. I didn't know Binta before. But there are people, many Alonko, they will stand up for the truth. And then, because me, I don't need to pay anybody. I don't need to tell anybody. I just stand for the truth. And I stand and tell you what the truth is.
So you
You know what I
believe
mean?
you believe for defending the truth doesn't mean you have to pay somebody to stand on your behalf.
No, you don't, because truth, alafamole kela kela okay. Tonya libo alafamole kela kela okay. Ndel ye pa mane. Kabiru
Mm-hmm.
nin jonga nyol be thankola jan Seku Jeng and others started writing all kind of stuff against us. But in the end, they also came back and apologized. You know what I mean? I have seen a whole lot of politics. There is
Mm-hmm.
a lot of political divide between me and so many people in that own village. But you know what happened? Of recent, we had a massive big reconciliation because people came to realize now, you know what? This Yankuba is not what we think he is. You know, you go to Brikama area council here. It's like nah, not director of finance will say. I go let that guy go. But I told him more do go womo do kunyo yanda mala tul kakanya Allah ko kambal fa akai ko mojuma akai ko Allah chairman Akai is the nicest guy to work with. Akai is the coolest guy to work with. Akai all he wants is kill him. The moment you kill him that you are his best friend. And that guy demu kebal de kana fa ben de fair.
Mm-hmm.
He insisted that I am a very difficult person. But I will be difficult if you want to bend the rules. But I will support and strengthen you and then prop you and do everything I can to make sure you succeed if you're on the right path. You understand? That is who I am. I will support you. I'll fight for you. I'll do everything if you're like this, if you're straight. If you're even straighter than me, I'll support you. I will be more this and that. You know, I'll prop you. I'll do everything I can to make sure whatever you're supposed to be doing, if you're doing that, I support you to succeed. That's who I am, and they all know me at BSc. I work with BSc is an institution of almost about 700 people permanent. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a small institution. It's a big institution. Go and ask them who Yanks Darboe is. I've worked with them for 3 years now. They'll tell you who I am, whether I am what people call the madman or the Ayatollah or the whatever you would call them, temperamental or the
Temperamental.
crazy guy. Yes, ask them. Ask
Ama
them. They'll tell
ya
you.
nunuri kado je ako the gira from Birkama. Birkama area council BSc. Go there. He is not talking to
And then,
anybody that you
and,
are going up.
and, and then I will tell you something. I will
Mm-hmm.
tell you something. This is from somebody from KMC, and I have witnesses for this. He told us that the Tonya Brikama Area Council, Kilimbaya Mimbuje, we don't have that in KMC. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In BSc, we are very much united. If I call people and say, let's go and do work, almost everybody who can turn up will turn up on that day. That's how um, united I am to my people at BAC. You understand? That's how close we are with them. But one thing I also BAC, if you start a fight with me, I also fight back. because for me, you fight me and I fight you. You know what I mean? But if you want to be straight, I will support you. I'll prop you. I'll do everything. But if you want to bend the rules and you want to be stubborn and difficult, then you find me stubborn as well.
I remember
But that's
I
who I
remember
am.
young Mudol Nene Afonye, Alpha Balmont, when you go young is like you. What will make your money then covering for you. When you go, he's like you, he want to work, and people are not giving him that opportunity. And according to people like you and young Gambians don't like you, you need to understand. Taking that opportunity as well to ask you, probably at the conclusion of the program, willing after Talib, ini Adam of an came akimba soka warande police on daka bujele soldier on dare buje mursa wali nanam lusa no wali diam all of the people talk adam from diam ako ning birka man call me wala west coast call me ko dila at a development with dila what difference the work confrontation or someone between you Adam Barrow and NPP and certain more million will they are answerable to Adam's demands.
No, you know, yet Dusano, yalo Dusano like campaign time at like for Molia, Aku Musinkir Berol, this incredible. I know Malbalo do. I don't go for Molia, and I because Akakumokoros is Karen, Sinkir Sabolo, Beresabolo. Now we are going to Carolo, what do, but Nina Benda, my Lundo na Benda terminal, because me can Wolumva. Na security, one learning bara terminal and called Dundajola, saying at a new foot ya fate at a tika, and for imagine and presidential advisor ani wo so kabir na mole ya ja kanal le konya du kanal de du kanal ko du ko ala blahina bimba ku kanal ada abe sutiyar na bari bimba jam vandila le so ndaralo ngambulo kede ngaban kabira na konya ko chairman ga ha akonye itala mole mun nonsense la ko musiro ko ngaya mun nonsense la fo so I ala story sar so bar kabra sar dolungan dasar ala mol ko be ko ali batu bang ko sa Allah tala ngakelen bang ko e mol kelen bang be batu ko wala ja du mol furi mbaldi you see what I mean but Momol Sabal you mentioned it about like we were together at UDP and then several mostly I just leave him like that. But Kapira is several just like I said, narrative. The narrative is Ako he will deal with me. So everybody got scared. And that's why I had to come and say, yes, you can't deal with me. Deal with me in what way? And then I had, for me, it's not about, most of these people here, it's not about me that I fear. But there are people that get concerned, you know what I mean? When they make such kind of threats, mol kasila le kaje mol yo kumandi bafale he hakilo rumo mo sabal dot akabe nyene kile akabe ko ya mo ne keno na mo sabal mo ne keno na ni mo sabal amanka ko mo sabal long I know him, you know what I mean? So but prior to that we had a good relationship. Even in UDP we had a good relationship. And then just going to MPP shouldn't have been that, but he did that one and I had to come and then confront that part just to make people understand that I am not scared of him. And then he cannot do anything to me. That's my position. Because Dusano cannot do it. You understand? And then Barrow, Yalu the Kabrin day one Barrow Ben Kelekan. From day one he's been fighting us. Yening Manela Hani Manela Sila Farafaroja. Don't information of sort of journal Mane Kanantuleka in BS. That the whole objective moment the one I'm gonna Africa. No Cabrina Africa me coming a minfono. The man silol made na Adam Marcelo no straight away can revenue ning attack. Baro kate Marcelo Brigam for Brigama era canso. No Marcelo ta madin them. Afone Marcelo operator run. And no ngama na akaka na Marcelo on the Brigama again. But Marcelo Min Lola is not gonna give it to us because want to give any market to Brikama Council. Not I think I found a car run a fight.
Mhm.
I could also because he's not giving it to local government. Even though much will be local government. You see what I mean?
Okay.
Baro Kabirin 2020. I've been keeping the can. And in being nago kitty.
So aje ko baro ya nyalo yang kumakan.
No. Baro no end the near that lajeko. Baro end the near. What out like one number file that Baro is not a good person. I told you people he's not a good person. For me, he's a very bad person. And then if he can kill me, he will do it.
But yeah, when you say that, a lot of people also, I wouldn't say a lot of, but you see people, they object to that statement. Kafuko is a reckless statement from someone very important in a country like Yankuba Darboe to utter such word towards the president.
But they are not wearing the suit that I am wearing. If you are in my shoes, you will understand what I am going through on a daily basis. You understand? You don't have to be a person, me along that your people will be scared. There are calls that came through to my house.
That's right.
To shoot me. Mohammed Sabal is a witness to that. UDP youth protest because we shouldn't go out because I should not go out. So, do you have to put someone in that fear?
No.
You have to go if I'm Obama Kumbo because he is so scared that you might not be coming back. What I have to endure is a lot, you know. But I told them, I said, look, if I don't go out of here today, and then I sit here because you could threat like and then I see that some they will make a threat. I will be a prisoner in my own compound. I said to them before I would do that, I might as well just go and then be liberated because my soul is liberated from my body and then I am going to my maker. So why should I live in that fear? But this is the things that they have done. What they have done to me, if I should explain all of that to you, then people will understand. I came to the Gambia. They seized my passport. I couldn't go back to practice. I had court cases in the UK. I couldn't deal with it. They kept me here. They trump up charges against me back and forth just to make sure they lock me up. That for case I might be going back. They bring me back. But you know, Barrow didn't know. I tell you, to become a chairman of the Brikama Council. So Nathan tell case Bantante says that no UK. Prunga would have taken time. But he decided that I shouldn't go. He kept me here. Kept me here. And the Brikama Area Council opportunity came. I went for that and I won that election. Still now he's fighting and keeping me in the gun. Do you see what I mean?
But what election no telling more and they participated a lot that you could not I don't want to go in Malafin of back because I have one question for you. It's a program when you think but what election of chairman akirimba forward and then talib na mo here and Ibrahim go boring burina abet abala seven city la ko kila ko yakuba tekila yang chairman you know it was this issue between Yankuba and Talib has long been going on. You know, it will end soon.
No. I think this battle will go on until after the December 5th. They will keep on fighting us because they have, for some reason, there are some people there that they harbor that hatred against us, but they will not say it. They want the whole world to believe that we harbor that hatred against them. No. We don't hate people. We don't hate anybody. If the genuine concern we have about them, we will say that. Because I said what I have heard about what is going on at his council. I wouldn't entrust him with the presidency. That's my own personal opinion. I wouldn't trust him with the presidency because the level of corruption that I keep hearing about what is happening in KMC, I'm not going to enter. I'm talking about Barrow being corrupt. Then you want me to replace Barrow with Taliban. I heard that person at KMC was doing the same thing. Why should I entrust him with the presidency? That's my own opinion. You understand? Somebody else has their own opinion about Yankuba being this, but the reality is this: Yankuba is not running for presidency. Yankuba is supporting Bao Seni to become a president. Talib is the one running to become a president. So who wants to be the leader, he's the one that needs to be scrutinized. I am being scrutinized at my position at BAC. You understand? That's my scrutiny. That's what I am going through. But he wants to be the president. He should be scrutinized because we cannot wait till he becomes president and we start scrutinizing. No. We've seen what Sonko and Jomaya are facing in Senegal. We've seen what we face with Barrow. You want Gambia to go from Barrow to another Barrow or even worse than Barrow. That would be dangerous and that would be terrible. So I think all the issues that people have, all the concerns that people have, he needs to come out and address them and convince everybody that he is not as corrupt or as dubious or as whatever shady as people are alleging him to be. If he does that, he might be able to convince people.
Okay. Another kumo mi yalon ko ay attention jama create mi yalon ko kuma kan e before about nuwa corruption mi yalon ko be ke kan wala kita nung KMC conflict of of interest lenga e wala muje nuwa fi da di amta KMC mo fi di amta UMC mo fi di amta yankuba e mi fo ha manke wonya nangam. Can you elaborate on that? Wala keys and what happened between
Bari yalo ntenga memvo. Ntenga memvo. Yalo ntekwa in ko. Kumul minka sata in KMC. You understand? Ntelenga mimoy. And yalo nuata is separate from the other ones ngaminomoy. You understand? But if you ask me, first one or minunara, I treat them with a pinch of salt. You know what I mean? Because I was not so. But Noah is somebody who is a professional. I know Noah. I worked in the UK as a lawyer. Noah works as an accountant. I've referred clients to him. He referred clients to me. You understand? So I know him, and then I've known Noah to be an upright person. So when they started saying, "Oh, you are making allegation with no evidence, no evidence, no evidence," I said, "Okay, I'll give you Noah." I didn't even speak to Noah.
Okay, so you didn't elaborate. You just said Noah, and then everybody panicked.
I just said, I'll tell him you about Noah. Man, tell him you ya name minge. Kavenda Noah do. Noah la document. Noah telephone call me sort of was too much. I apologize to Noah and I apologize again because minge Noah is not a politician. He's a technocrat. Not a politician. Do you understand? Noah is a politician. Noah is a technocrat. But wolum Noah telephone Noah keta politician call solve dunda. Noah tele fo yangu bay. Fo nyina keta all lot of things. Noah went through hell. Wana kabiri kwenye dol fana ko mbambudu ulenga. Aleta all fana torment and then give all kind of things to them. It's not right. But the other thing I know is Noah mumola de mi anon tonya mola. I remember kabiri mo feta amera ila ke ya men Tanzania na follow nada ko Noah ka mo wofo. Bio nada. You know when Bio had that one, Bio was very concerned. Another going to chairman, I'm going to go nyim kamo ako Noah ka mo wofo. That is a very serious one. Nka ako Noah ka mo wofo nka no. Nka what them come at. Nka that cannot be. I know Noah is a very upright person. He's very truthful. He's not someone who will bend the rule. Not for Yaya, not for anybody else. Noah will tell the truth. Guy, I don't believe that. And I called Noah. And Bio was his list. Bio had what Noah said. I said to him, "So you hear? Noah is not like that." And then Noah went on Musa Sedi's program, and he said exactly what I said. You understand? Because and then I don't know about what transpired between Noah and KMC. Noah Mafonte. I wouldn't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It cemented a pattern. The pattern is they do kickbacks. You know what I mean? Because yalum tolo ngolo nyami mo minna dan tolo ya ko dinka singo. Akabe jiboro le sinna. Bayo munna sedo to Sidi munna sedo. Almost gave him the contract. Simply because that's how they do it at KMC. But when he said This is how we do it to support and to support yourself. I just said, no, 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 no. I don't think that's a good thing.
So again, see,
I
they
don't
pick,
think
they take
I said,
kickbacks.
I said, I said to myself, no, 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 I wouldn't be part of that. And I cut that deal off. You know what we ended up doing? I
Mm-hmm.
ended up doing it myself. The people, I called the people. I said, let's go and do this. But I would rather do it than to get myself involved in that kind of shady business. You know what I mean? See
Mm-hmm.
me, you see, I don't fear about what people say. I fear what God is watching me doing. You know what I mean? I'm in a
Mm-hmm.
public place. And then if I take one boot of the people of West Coast, imagine how many all that, how many people are in that region? 1.3 boot between me and all of those people. I'm scared of that. I would rather definitely me along West Coast, let's say, iman son nanjul at the end of the amane
Mm-hmm.
kanyen do ko sometimes ni ñu ka do ko kele fo fitro, but you see all of those staffs min la do ko I make sure they all get their overtime paid, but me I don't get ninning ninning multara do ko. And then the same thing that applies to Bionin City. If I go with them, they don't get nothing. We sacrifice. We don't get anything for any work. But the staffs that come to work on overtime, they get paid. But we will never na concrete ko kele na concrete ko ke jana nkatara jele kabrin samanda fu suto alala suto ba na say, but we don't get a dollar for it. Not a butu. We never charge a butu. We only do it fi sabilillah. One day, sama nim fatata yomal kiyama, the people of West Coast will pay us in reward, not in money. We're not interested in money. Bayo bola nyama, indom bola nyama. But if we go with people, sakondinga Sierra Leonean hire puri mako to drain butola, drain bondolate. We
Mm-hmm.
pay them. Our contractors, na construction workers, they get paid overtime. But for us, we will do all the work there, but we don't get a button. We don't. We don't charge for anything. We can go and then do all the market visiting that you keep hearing. We don't
Mm-hmm.
get a button for it. We never charge. We never charge. That's who we are. And
Um,
then
yeah.
every Saturday I am working. Every Saturday I am working. For nim tamata de but nimbeje, I am either at the construction site or I am at the with the cleaning site with the cleaners, or I'm on some other things. But we are always working on Saturdays with the team. But everybody who works who is a staff, they get their overtime paid for Saturday work. I don't get anything. I go home, do where I come, and sometimes nin tata je nin domoro man soto waran geo man soto, I take my own money and buy geo and give it to them just to motivate them so that we complete the work and we do the work. Lamang ika fanya the Chinese so, because when I start I want it finished, and then I will work with them. Lundo mingera itata nunne itole concrete ko gele itata le kela babarol bonne, and they were hoping ko near babarol bonne doron they are going home nte futarana kabiri yanja butu wo ko fama na dilol be kalata tan. And wolung I kept them there till after 12 at night, and we made so wolung na concrete ko nyembe bang, and then few days later samana, and then for the first time brikama marseoto gio mallo nin gio na rabe kata anu jambar sane mi yanon ko area la mi ka fo flood prone area ya jele kebare ma ya fali video da ko ya jamme na raji aisha
Mm-hmm.
njay na raji ya baro na raji sirifo son ko na molta raji ndma. We even understand that every year ka bilo le dida pour jambar sane be je fengel na, but we came and we fixed it geo bokalo mol ka wudai wo kordal to le ta school to, but last year momo wudai, and this year we've already started clearing those drains, and then we want to expand more. But we are also doing the market flooring, and then we are doing a soko fish market. Do bitala soko we do to at the front. We also want to build another one at the back. Ministry na go back, we are still mome kalamabulande. Kabri amo kondo kana soko we da do na go to bad da hanisin in the mome. But that's what we do. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And then every other part of West Coast, they are getting their money and they are doing their works at those places. This is how we are. This is what we've been doing, and I am not doing it. I'm building up because, like I told them, I'm building up for the future. The
Mm-hmm.
future we are setting precedents me alone, whether we are there or not, people going to benefit. So, for example, World Development Fund from our time all the way to maybe Eli Omidin, West Coast Uncol will always get their world development from their council. That will help us.
Anyways, you know, like last question or only last one last question. Actually, talking about the fish market issue. Last time, actually, someone came out cried and no bali musol katana wo no in kono biskama eri kasi man na kajede da and kunying kata nyani le mune wo nunying samana je wala video mi yalon ko moleji.
No, yeah, the fish market, yalo money and they don't like, for example, B. Nita the J B or maybe sama nita the J batter lako akasabala dried. That place cut 30,000 liters wala kaboje every day. Akawala produce every day. So ni mantra wood lanying nintol mantra ka J saba. Mantra ka J saba. Wo marso bele ka flood. Imagine follow mol ka for nita the brika marso to mol ka seles singuka. But mul famata o moila simply because ndolle ka je saba kabrin dol nada yalum kabrin dol nada ndol ma han tank kelen ndol ma hani nya ji sabaran tank kelen tara bir kama ere kan dul tank kelen fo ma tara je kabrin nada ngaw jiyo je nte fo na kodo bonde about 40 something thousand that day not 10 trips taje it was 43,000 ngamenjo because 10 trips yolo bondi je each trip they charge 4,300. I paid it myself from my own money. Because Kabrin Nata Ngataraja, I was like, no, this is not sustainable. So when I went to the council, I did everything can make sure the first year ngamotoba luas. So umotoba Kabrin luas, ngamotoba fula luas, wala kamako isamako no kajesaba. So Kabrin Naraja ko, motoba luas would cost us a lot of money. One the solution. The second summer, we bought a ngamotoba kilinsa. Murunda, as part of our big truck packaging, motoba was 1,000 liters, and then this place produces 30,000. So, and then Wodula Damatan we have Kamake almost 6 Kamola Kamala or Marcella area to 6. I think it's 6. I'm not sure, but it's about 6. You know, about 6, and then Garaso Fanana Kamobije. Yeah. So, wo kamul nying wol nyanta kasaba on top of that hospital become hospital la sako maternity ward wala ji jamala kana la soko wel kadu fala we have nkoto fanan sabal buyam la hospital o fanan nkoto fanan sabal sibano and then you added to that the military barracks, the police stations, the schools. It's a lot, and we have only one tank, so we had to get another tank, so we now have 2. But the problem is ninna tankol tada ni paneta what it ada fengo ada service la yalum fish market mandaran tol ko da be ministry of fisheries to la ko do collect je so ndol kan na tax ko do la dundi je to la ko do min collect tax to because tax fula la benun je but nin tol nga collect musol ka fele ka duty fula la jo so ndol na da foko bayri ministry be banal ke la duty bondi alun tol nga ta bonni nga musol dema bayri kana if ke la dañi no la ke je hanin tol man charge so ndol bu ka charge roke ministry la ka charge roke ministry la ka kodo be samba ministry la staff marata jela ministry la responsible tawdla yaje kabir minister na def permanent secretary na kabir wo ma mon kada wo kada nga fo mo be ko dolun da ministry la permanent secretary buba sanya na raje and I la hido ka ikoy be tanko sanale tol fo be la tanko sanale ibela soko wesin ikoy dulay tandile be la soko wesin dan ndol ko la mole ala fo en combat sina dama fo ya singodo ndol la tam jede barnge so la ya singe hani sininde iman na andi ko kodo be la rinjele tol bakala hani sininde manna sama fana bena so ndol we are not waiting on them we started with the front one we want to do one at the back but all of that is not a solution ya jele fish market mu global de pa musol firo ke je ni firo bang ikaje kule ni aku pipe le katare buli ko pipe mi rose woka jiwo jita ka be ko be kete dan ko sok welle ko wo jiwo le kana findi dan wo jiwo ka wole fo jinor mo nyindi
okay
So ni parete ka jio bete dango soko wenyun kono wala na it produces that 30,000 okola I think wala fanan so cold store so do my kala nyewul store cold store nyina kon. So imagine cold store glass or ice are coming produce webe katanya. So it produces a lot of water. And then kabiru Japanese or le ya di man sakunda le ya jamal man sakunda. Kabiri badile ya for in this one the only sustainable solution to it wala nyindale sewage system order because a gioni ndol nyama manga wajio dundi na drainage water kono ninga wudundi ya jele sama jio kata ne ma fon mimbela nin nyin jiolo dunda wo ma fon wolte sino no like te sunga nyumbu so we cannot allow it to go to the drain so nka manage the inside within that place and then use septic tank ko ka jio wide kata fight.
So it is done on daily basis.
Daily basis, daily basis. Every day, motorbike na like 2 trips because I na motorbike is 20,000 liters. So now 4 strip order, hana 20,000 what I 15,000 now bonana rakaminta is only another 10,000 or 15,000. You understand? I tie over. So now 20 but 10 never to will complete. Whatever. So now get dry. The place is normally dry. You understand? Bari nim motoba nyim panda. So by the time to low motoba, ning say for example nga demand sort of for let's say Buyam Hospital, wala soko will father. It has to go to Buyam. So now that jamo wo daming getting. Then now the next day it becomes 60,000 liters you are now dealing with in terms of water there. So water nyina ka flow na flow da sa yalo jemol fananga minke ya jele min be firlal min mete. Fananga minke nin josh dore ka media la kumandi ka fa nali anatali e bondi dore binala so wala bije that's the deal so ka media la kumandi media na de picture dore wala bondi newspaper yankuba dawe budisha janga nga ko you know what I mean but they think that maybe they think that ni maka wonyama I wouldn't do it but no we are committed to doing it the only reason why Mbukakeno every day is because we also have another problem like for example Sukuta Marcel. In Sukuta la Sokowel Fata, what of an Ankanane la Marcel la Kono. So we have to go and deal with it. Janu of an spread la Marcel. Wellingara is the same thing. Sanjaba Sule job is the same thing. We have a lot of markets that we cover. And we have to deal with all of those. You see what I mean? Alhamdulillah. Busumbala the same thing. So we get requests. So Minketa, because we have people at these places, Nabina Falados. But yajal follow, yajal sign honey ministry hanin dolla motoba pan ngoyko al motoba luwa salia ko e kebulo la nyoka ibakaso so say ya bedun dolla bule nyakas hanning afata anu ninna motoba pandan ke kuma nga fa ko dolla motoba pandan sa motoba luwa because dolla ba ke all these days al motoba luwa aliye sabab for the next 2 days jannin motoba kan the next 2 days yal nebe mingala ite fenkala du mangol mi bije wolbe mida command la wolbe media na yal datal camera kantu this is how we are doing so we are used to it you know what I mean but we have a lot of challenges so what we are even planning on doing is we plan to buy another septic tank so that we will have 3 now.
Anyways, time to back.
Yeah,
yes,
3 from
you can conclude it.
We need about 5. If we have it in our way, we will go for 5 septic tanks. You will need at least 2 for the fish market because and then the other ones will say kamul other tenkul mamanidu. And we also get requests from we have a lot of schools and we have to help the schools. You know what I mean? Schools don't let the responsibility. War is not. We have almost about 4 Arabic universities in my region alone. 4.
Okay.
And all of those 4 universities are under us, and we have to deal with all the other challenges they face. And then we have so many other Islamic student they are like a boarding school. When they have those needs, it is the council they turn down. We have to respond to all of that. So we have so many challenges, and we can only deal with these challenges if revenue is paid. So revenue pay is very important. And we can only do it if there is zero corruption as well. Corruption is very important. With all that challenges, Mendela region or the Brigama area council, Mobe Jigobe council, Nintolcombe Sunyaro, how are we going to support? Gambia Mume, Banco Mume, baby suffering. We all rely on one central government. No central government corrupt. How are we going to survive? That's why we have to make it a duty of every Gambian to fight corruption. And corruption. Don't steal, don't lie, job break.
Thank you very much, Chairman Yanks Darboe, for giving us your time. Nalenoko, last thing in Karamundela, ma opportunities of occasion because time in Nako and Kolmulia colleague. We will also take the opportunity to have you back on Kibaro Network channel. And then we thank you once again for your loyalty to the country, your hard working, and the more fun attend to the million along Wella Kalamoi, Kaboni Banko Fanabantala, Kibaro Network platform will to come in data Kafale and Adrong and Kachibaro Diala. Alla bunda dalto kadiamu banko di mol fanan toyala kamos to mi ala kun be diamule family ala kun ni la kanusute bankola kotole butum si molu fanan be tentu ngi jayi nimbara mi ala ko le kalamu alnal badi ma pamani ala barka ban kala lamu. Thank you very much, Chairman.
Baraka.